And I think that's my prediction going to be for St Helens at the moment. They just seem so polished at the moment. Final game of this round then, and it's your team in play, Joshua, at 8:15 on Friday night. It's Warrington versus Hull FC. So Warrington are in good form. How do you see Hull FC beating them?
I don't see it being Golden Pointers winning because we haven't got Sneed. But I've never gone against Hull FC, so I'm going us by 8 or 4. 8 or 4.
So Hull in a close one.
Yeah.
What about you, Sarah?
It's a real heart-head one. But like Joshua, I'm going to have to go with my heart. But a lot I think will depend on which players we can get back on the park.
How long is Sneyd looking like he's going to be out for?
I've not heard any updates from the scan yet.
Like 4 weeks.
I've not heard anything official. No. Andy last said it didn't look good.
No, yeah.
But I've not heard anything definite.
We're assuming Connor must have been one of the guys struck down with coronavirus because he wasn't in the game this week. Do we think?
But his wife gave birth the day before.
Oh, is that why? Right, okay.
So I don't know.
My assumption is probably incorrect, and it's probably the fact that he had a newborn baby, and that's a very good reason to miss a match, I would say. But he can come in, can't he? Which is
his baby boy is called Bo. We wonder if it's a misspelling of boa. You know, the whole boa constrictor snake theme. But I think it was that his wife had the baby, but obviously we don't know.
Makes sense.
It's a definite. And we don't know anything about any of the other players.
No, other than like Cater will miss out through suspension that we've already talked about. But
because Taylor and Massey have both got pre-existing injuries, so I don't know when they're looking to be back.
So if you're sort of hopeful that you can get Connor can be back in maybe if Sneed's out, and one of the more experienced forwards can get a go back in the side as well potentially.
Well, it would be nice because I worry whether Ellis can do back-to-back matches, especially with the short turnaround.
5-day turnaround. Yep.
Last
that makes sense.
He wasn't managing that, so if we could get Taylor or even Josh Jones or Sow or Savelia, somebody back in, it would be helpful.
Yeah, well, that's the one difference between mine and your predictions, Sarah, this week is that final game, and Joshua's the only one to go for Salford in the top game. So we'll see how it all plays out when we watch the games. But of course, at this stage, they are just guesses. Even though this week they're a little bit more educated than before because we do have some team list, don't we, for the Thursday games?
But it's also guesses as to what matches are going to be played, isn't it?
Yes, good point. Good point. Until testing is carried out, we do not know. Okay, the NRL round 17, the Brit Watch picks. We've got the Broncos versus the Panthers Thursday at 10:50 a.m. Probably a foregone conclusion, and the Panthers will win that one comfortably, you'd think. The Rabbitohs versus the Storm. This is two sides who'll be playing in the playoffs. So Friday, 10:55 a.m. for that game. That one could be exciting, with Tom Burgess going well for the Rabbitohs this year. Got the Bulldogs versus the Titans on Saturday at 6 a.m. if Thompson gets a go for the Bulldogs, if he's back in the lineup. And then the Raiders versus the Roosters Saturday at 10:35 a.m. with all of those British players in the Raiders side. And you never know, Ryan Hall might get thrown a sympathy game or two before his Roosters career is inevitably over at the end of this season. But no mention of the Eels in there because they don't have any British players, Joshua. But do you think one day maybe you'll manage to get down under and turn out for Parramatta, your new side?
No. I don't want to be shipped over to Australia.
Fair enough. But do you think the Eels are going well? Do you think they'll make the final?
Maybe.
Maybe they're doing quite good.
Close last year.
Yeah.
They got like in the qualifying kind of like end of the season bit.
Yeah, well they're looking quite good for a top 4 place, aren't they? So that's quite important. With 4 games to go. Yeah. Who do you think's going to win the NRL then, Joshua, this year?
Well, I'm obviously going to have to go for reals, aren't I?
You don't back against your own teams, do you?
No.
Good lad. Well, thanks for coming on, and happy birthday again for this week.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to the wrap up. So it's an addendum to the predictions and I guess news and what have you. But whilst we're editing the show, the news has broken about some more coronavirus positive test results. So 2 Wakefield Trinity players have returned positive tests in the club's third set of tests in the last week. Wakefield have postponed training session that was scheduled for Wednesday, when a decision will be made regarding their Super League fixture against Leeds Rhinos that we've just talked about, which is scheduled to be played at Headingley on Thursday night. Only one of the players who tested positive was involved in Wakefield's recent fixture against Warrington's, where they lost at the weekend. Neither of the players were identified as at risk following the test and trace analysis of the cup tie against the Catalans on the 22nd of August. Since that time as well, the Dragons have had a further 2 rounds of testing, and in the second, one more of their players at Catalans has tested positive, and another member of their backroom staff too. So in the third round of tests at Catalans, the remaining 46 were negative, so at least that's a positive. So we know that Catalan's scheduled games against Leeds next Monday has been postponed, so we didn't predict on that one, but we did predict on this week's game where Leeds are due to play Wakefield. We don't know if that's going to happen. We don't know what happens if Catalans can't play, because you've got the spare team this week is already coronavirused up. Warrington have been informed of Wakefield's positive test and trace analysis will now be carried out on that as well, to see if any Wolves players will need to be stood down. So all in all, very complicated times. We thought we'd just add that in to make sure that you got the news if you hadn't caught it already. Bad turn of phrase, but anyway, on to the wrap up. Okay, so it's wrap-up time, Sarah, after the cameo from young Joshua. Anyone worrying if we're recording this at our normal sort of scheduled time, that Joshua's part was recorded early, so he was able to get some sort of semblance of going to bed.
Yeah, apart from he appears to have taken a wrong turn, so he probably could have recorded it now.
Well, it's still just about the school holidays for him, so
yeah.
So there you go. Right. Quiz this week. As we've been celebrating the 125th birthday of our sport in the last week, this week's quiz combines celebrations and history, as we're going to take a look at our cup competitions that we've had over the years. So the first question is going to be about the Rugby League Challenge Cup. So what I would like you to do, Sarah,
yes,
is name the first winner of the Challenge Cup and the most recent winner of the Challenge Cup. So 2 teams to name. Obviously, the Challenge Cup started back in, I don't know if it's obvious to people actually, because it wasn't the first year. It was the second season that we got the Challenge Cup in 1896 to 1897 season. And obviously, we all know it is still played today. So you need to name the first winner and the most recent winner.
This is where I'm really... Was the first winner Batley?
Yes. Yeah, they won the Cup 3 times. All 5 of those times were in the first 5 years of the Cup being in existence.
How bad is it that I know the first winner and now I'm questioning myself over the most recent one? Just let me work it out. 2017 we won it. 2018 Warrington.
It's because it feels like an age ago, because it's now over a year ago.
I know which 2 teams won it the last 2 years, and I'm just trying to work out
which way round.
Yeah. I am going to go for... I really can't remember which way round it was. Right, 2018, we were beaten by St Helens in the quarterfinals. 2019, we were beaten by Warrington in the semi-final at Bolton.
The Ratchford miracle game.
Yeah, Ratchford cheating.
I'm going to have to push you for an answer.
Parklands.
No, it was Warrington.
Warrington.
It was Warrington.
They were my two teams, and I couldn't think which one it was.
Yeah, Warrington, who are 9 times winners of the Challenge Cup. Only Wigan, Leeds and St Helens have won more. Of course, they beat St Helens after St Helens controversially had a potential try for Morgan Knowles-Rudd at the start of the game. Everyone will remember that. But actually, we're the better team then throughout the game, so probably deserved to win. That's not how it works, though, is it? Sometimes in terms of people's memory of things.
I was like, I knew both matches, and I just couldn't work out which one came first.
And I find it a bit harder to place the last couple of years because all the semi-finals were at Bolton, and I was at all the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is the Rugby League League Cup. So I want you to name the first and last winners of the Rugby League League Cup, which was played from the 1971-72 season, when it was known as the Players Number 6 Trophy, until the 95-96 season, by then called the Regal Trophy, which is, I think, the name I only know it as. So the Fag Cup, the League Cup. So I want you to name the first and last winners of that competition.
So were the last winners Leeds?
No, it was Wigan in the 95-96 season were the last winners. Wigan in total won it 8 times, including 7 in 11 seasons from 85-86 to the 95-96 season.
Yeah, I thought Wigan maybe did it, but then I thought maybe they didn't focus so much on that. And early 70s, I am going to say Hunslet.
It was Halifax. They beat Wakefield in their only League Cup triumph.
Well, there we go then.
Yeah, but this is more about the history than the getting it right, I think, this quiz this week. Because I wouldn't have got that one either. Then finally, name the first and last winners of the BBC Floodlit Trophy, which was played only 15 times. It was played for between 1965 and 1979.
So the most recent winners are Hull FC.
They are. They beat the 1977 winners Hull KR for their only Floodlit Cup title.
It might be the only, but it means we're the current holders as well.
That's true.
1965. Who do we think might have? Halifax.
It was Castleford. Castleford actually won the first 3 BBC Floodlit Trophy titles and a record 4 in total. So, yeah. And also, what I found out when I was looking up this one, which people might think is interesting, I don't know. The 1974-75 season tournament final was a 0-0 draw between Salford and Warrington, with Salford winning on replay. Imagine that, a final being 0-0 in Rugby League.
Yeah. Wouldn't have done the nerves any good, would it?
No, and actually the game that Salford lost was the one at the Willows, and the one that they won. Sorry, the one that they drew was at the Willows. The one that they won on the replay was at Wilderspool. So home advantage wasn't that relevant, even though it was. Well, actually, I looked through the list, and a lot of teams didn't take advantage of the home advantage, but Hull FC did in that final Trophy final. Okay. Any other business? Any recommendations? Any stories to tell us? Anything like that, Sarah?
So we were over in Sheffield yesterday, and that was nice. And I introduced my children to Sister Act, which is just a classic film, and I think everyone should watch it again if they need a blast of 90s reminiscing.
That's the Whoopi Goldberg's A Nun film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw it probably in the 90s and haven't seen it since.
I saw it so many times in the 90s that I could actually almost come out with the next line. But I've been trying to show the kids it because I just thought that they'd find it amusing.
Yeah.
And it was I hadn't been able to find it on any streaming devices or anything, but my sister has Disney Plus, so that worked well because it's on that.
There you go. So I guess his Sister Act your recommendation then?
Just a bit of, nostalgia.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, I am